Hey guys, welcome to Brad's Crazy Life. What we're going to go over in this video is inmate manipulation, on what to expect from the inmates, what to expect from the staff that's telling you what to do, how to handle that, how to handle the staff, and what to learn along the way. Now, first things first, you've been into prison for a little while. Let's just say you've been there a month or so. So the inmates have gotten to know you and you've not gotten to know them. Every inmate has their tendencies. I still remember dozens and dozens of inmates when I was there. Just remember that, because it's completely true. Every inmate's not gonna want to do things to you. Inmates are there, but between a year and a day in life. So the ones that's been there for a long time, they're usually the ones that have all the orderly positions and that sort of thing. The ones that are going home, they're usually the laziest because they know that they're about to pack their bags and head home. So what to expect? First things first, inmates, when you first walk through the door, they know that you're a trainee because they can tell by your uniform, and they can tell that you don't have any badge or nameplate or any of that stuff on there. So first thing they're going to try to do is they're going to try to do small things. I remember for me personally, they would come up to the window. I was in an open bay to start with a wonderful sergeant that kind of taught me exactly what I needed to know. But every time they would come up, they would be like, hey, can we have the TV on during count? Or hey, can we stay up later than 11 o'clock? Because that was usually the time that they actually went to bed and they put them to bed. So what they will try to do is try to do that first. Now, sometimes you got to give leeway. If there's nothing that's went on that day and nothing crazy, sometimes you got to leave leeway. You also got to understand that everything isn't by the book. The people that write them books never even been in a prison, so why in the world would I want to follow something that is probably written by somebody that's sitting behind a desk in Tallahassee instead of actually something that's actually been written by the actual guards themselves? So what I did is I learned from the sergeants and the officers that have been there for a while, and that's what I used as my guide. I did not use what was in a book. So that's my first tip that I would give to any officer that's actually going into training, is to learn from other officers and learn from other sergeants. That is the best way to get around the prison and understand how things work, because there's certain things in certain prisons that you can do that you cannot do in other prisons, and vice versa, and especially the annex where I worked. Now, get back to inmate manipulation. They're going to try you with little things. They're going to try you with things like the TV, being up during count, watching a World Series, the Super Bowl. Once you got them counted, they'll want back up. Now, sometimes during big events, we allowed that, but that was only to keep order. Now, this is where the fun part, I guess, begins. Then once you build a rapport with a lot of these inmates, that's when they'll come up and they'll start asking you for small things. Everything from, hey, do you smoke? Meaning, hey, can I get a cigarette? All the way up to, the best way to make money in here, because you don't make any money. And that's going to be another video as well, as what officers actually get paid. I have my W-2s. I will show you. And they'll be like, well, you don't make much money. I'll give you $1,500 for a cell phone. A little $30 cell phone you get at the gas station, bring it in, they're going to give you $1,500 on a Green Duck card. And I know several people that have come into that prison, done that very thing, and ended up in jail because of it. Because them inmates in prison will not keep their mouth shut. They're going to get caught with that cell phone. They're going to tell them who give them the cell phone. It's only a matter of time. So the best thing and advice that I can give you is to never take a bribe from an inmate. I personally never did. I never give an inmate anything. I never give inmate even as far as a sucker. So I hardly even give them toilet paper if they ask for extra. And that's because, you only have a certain amount. They're only allowed one roll a month. Or is it one roll every 2 weeks? I can't remember. It's one roll every 2 weeks. So, but you'll have inmates that'll come up and they'll ask you, every time the toilet paper's passed out, they'll come up and ask you for more toilet paper. Like they have a bowel movement problem or something. I have no clue, but they'll get one from each shift. So now instead of one, they got 5. So you have to really be cautious on what you give out, who you give it out to, and why that inmate's actually getting it. One of the things that they'll try to do is they'll come up and ask you for Tylenol. Now, I don't agree with this, but why is an officer able to prescribe Tylenol when they can go to the medical facilities and get a pack of 24, 50, 100, and they can take it back to their cells or bunks and put it in their locker? The reason is because if they go do that, they're charged with a medical visit that they have to pay for, and if they get it from the officer, it's free. So you'll have inmates every day, no matter what. It's like clockwork. As soon as you come in, the first thing they do is ask you for medication. So once you give them medication, you have to take their ID, you have to take their badge, you have to write their badge number down, you have to write their name down in the ledger. Everything that's in the officer station is accounted for, and we'll get into that later on. But then they'll ask you for things like that, medication, extra time on the phone, that sort of thing. And then what they do is they build their way up until the point where they're asking you for cell phones or drugs or cigarettes or any of these things that is highly illegal, especially in the prison setting, because they will pay top dollar for them. And most COs are broke because most COs do not make much money. I know me personally, I make almost triple a week as a truck driver as I did as a CO, and that was the only reason why I left the prison, was because I was not making any money. But if you got any questions, concerns, thoughts, like I said, this is just for if you're a trainee going into the prison, what to look for, what's going to happen, because it will happen to you. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Over and out.